All right. So today we're going to talk about complex fractions and unit rates. Friday, you spent time looking at unit rates. Okay? So I want to tie that up just a little bit, seeing that I wasn't here to deliver that. Okay? A unit fraction, what does it look like? What did all your answers on Friday look like? Any number over 1. So this would be a unit fraction, right? Okay. I like to describe unit fractions like this. Okay.
Label it like that.
Grab a prop.
Units with a small two.
What is this?
Where does it show it up there?
How much? A 12 pack of pop, right? Okay. If I reach inside, I'm going to get the unit. Because inside are what? Individual cans, right? Okay. Unit rates are also handy for when you go shopping. Okay. For instance, does anyone go shopping at Sam's Club? How is Sam's Club different from, say, like Walmart, Target, or other stores?
Because it's a lot bigger.
What do you mean?
Bigger stuff.
Okay, bigger stuff. So if I want to go buy a box of Cheerios,
It'll be like more.
it's a bigger box, right? We call that bulk shopping. Okay? It's easier to buy in bulk because it's cheaper. And Sam Club is great at using things like unit rate to help show you that, hey, if you buy more, you're actually paying less per unit. Okay? So that leads us into today's talk about complex fractions. When you hear complex, what do you think of? Big. What else?
It has the measurements. You have to put the boxes in. So this one.
Sometimes you think of it being harder, okay, or more difficult, okay? They're trying to trick you up here. When they say complex fractions, it's not hard. They're just tricking you to make you think that it is hard. So one place in the real world that we see complex fractions is in music. Okay? I don't have anybody in band or vocal, do I? Okay? I have anybody that plays an instrument, like plays a guitar outside of school or anything. Y'all listen to music though, right? Okay? Well, I'm going to play you a song that's one of the fastest songs I know. It might be one of the fastest in the world. You remember the game while I find it? Do you remember the game Guitar Hero? The whole point of the game is you had the keys, this was one of the songs on Guitar Hero. Okay? So you tell me if you could play this song. It's called Through the Fire and Flames. By Dragon Force. Right? Okay? So it just goes on and on like this, right? It gets faster. Think about the Guitar Hero, how fast your fingers would have to be moved. Any clue how fast that song is if I had to say beats per minute? Now, a beat would be like beats per minute. Anybody want to take a stab at what that song is? I had to look it up this morning. Over 100, you're right. You're oh so right and oh so far at the very same time.
Over 1,000.
Under 1,000. Now you're oh so far the other way. Less. Less. More. 200. Okay, so that Dragon Force song was 200 beats per 1 minute. Is this a unit fraction or a unit rate? Yeah, because why? Why does it describe a unit rate?
Because it's any number over one.
Any number over 1, okay? We're talking about 1 minute here. And what happens in 1 minute? 200 beats. So in that song, in 1 minute, just in 1 minute's time, you're going to hear 200 beats. You're going to hear that 200 times, okay, in 1 minute. So in music, we can break that down even further using complex fractions. DJs use beats per minute, as we already talked about, to blend songs together. Like I was saying, when I went and saw Pitch Perfect, okay, that whole idea of the movie is she mixes music together. She still does that in the third one, in case you were wondering. Spoiler alert. Okay? Blend songs together that have similar tempos. Good luck trying to find a song that matches 200 beats per minute. Okay? But there are other songs that match together. For instance, song A has 92 beats per minute, while song B has 23 beats per minute. Okay? Could we mix these songs together? The first thing to think about is the unit rate. So if I wanted to take song A and write it as a unit rate, 92 beats per minute, what would that look like for a number of beats?
92 over
Okay, so number of beats would be 92. And the number of minutes, what would that be? 1. And do I have a unit rate? Yeah, I have its smallest rate, okay, that smallest comparison of 92 beats per 1 minute. Then, if I had to fill out I'm going to move this up here again. We have 92 beats per 1 minute. And then song B, let's do the same thing. Let's turn that into a unit rate. Okay? Or at least into number of beats and number of minutes. So song B, up at the top, in that example, said what? How many beats?
23 beats per 1/4.
23 beats per 1/4 of a minute. 1/4 of a minute. How many seconds in 1 minute? 60. So what does 1/4 mean? Split it into fours. So how many seconds in a 1/4 of a minute?
So this one would be
Not quite. If you've got 60 seconds equals 1 minute, 15. Okay? Visually, think of a clock. Split that clock
you gotta try to get
into 4 sections. You know, 60 seconds all the way around. From 12 to 3 is 15. 15 seconds. Okay? So in 15 seconds of this song, you're going to have 23 beats. These look different, correct? Okay? Well, is the ratio you wrote in exercise 2 written in simplest form? What do you know about simplest form, and does it match 23 1/4?
Yes.
Yes, but you don't know why. Okay? Anybody wanna challenge that or maybe explain their yes or no?
You, yep, you too. Good. Okay, we can do this one. 1, 6, 7, 8. That's okay. That's okay. 1.
What do we know about simplest form?
What's that? I'll have this one. 1, 2,
It could be like least various versus least.
7, 8. What's that?
I think what, are you trying, are you thinking it's gotta be the smallest? Okay. Yes, I agree with that. Okay. And you're thinking 1/4 is already pretty small, right?
Goes there. What goes there?
What do we do? What's my little cliche, my little saying that I say when I say change this to simplest form? Get rid of what? No, not the 1. Don't ever do this. If you remember one thing in math class, don't ever do this. And this has nothing to do with math. Don't ever put a ring on who? Your cousin. Don't ever marry your cousin, right? Outside of math, it's gross. Inside math,
3,
that's how we simplify.
4,
So,
5.
think back to this. If 60 seconds was 1 minute
There you go.
and 15 seconds was a quarter of a second, could I use 1/4 to simplify 23? Are they related? Okay, to some degree. So the answer here is 23 out of 1/4, or 23 1/4. Is it already in simplest form? Yes or no? No. Why not?
Because you can simplify into, yeah, take it.
Still simplify what?
Take the test on 1.
23, and then
Oh,
1/4.
really?
Yeah,
Where at?
that 1/4 is not in its simplest form.
Uh-huh.
Make cake.
Well, what's this gonna be? 7, 8, 9, what's that under there? And that's on Thursday? What goes in here? Awesome.
So we have song A with 92/1 in its unit rate per beat, right?
Awesome.
Over here I have beats per minute, 23
What's who's running there?
over 1/4.
And you make
Are these the same beats?
You have 2 here, you just have to do it in the middle. 1, 2.
No?
Oh, 30 or something.
Jacob, pick up where she left off. Why would Haley say no?
Try to have equal same beats.
Okay, if just visually, 92 is not 23, right?
I don't even.
Well, what we could do to figure out if they're the same is we could solve this.
What do you do?
If I solve this,
8 and 2.
anybody got a clue
Got to times it.
on what that problem is? This is a problem all to its own. Think about that for a second. What does that problem say?
Times 2 is 24.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So how do you do that?
Okay. Okay, sounds good.
But that's right here. That's the area of this one.
Let's see. so I asked you, what does this problem
Go over
say?
here, Chloe.
And how would you go about solving that individual problem?
Mhm. What number goes over here? Okay, oops, that's a two, then you can simplify.
23.
Okay. And find out
Okay,
the
so I
answer.
could go about trying to simplify it.
This is for people.
Five to be 8 times
Number
2.
4 and 8.
Are you on the last page already?
Yeah.
What does this bar say?
Second to the last page.
Yeah, second.
Oh.
Divide.
Yeah.
So, Tessa,
I know what I'm supposed to do, but I'm just.
Because I think it's the last one you have to put tiles in. I think this one I have to do the area.
is this the same as this?
Oh.
Why?
You guys ready for page?
So do you
Okay.
just go
So this
get
times those.
I just wrote it differently, right?
Okay, Chloe, we do.
Instead of using the fraction bar, I used something I was more familiar with.
The next page you have to do.
So now I have 23 divided by 1/4.
That's number
Oh,
1.
you didn't know.
How do I solve this?
Don't give me that.
Can I turn that into a
And then
fraction?
you have to put
So
your.
you just do like you did here, 8 times 2.
Okay.
9 times 8.
Divide.
Okay, you don't have to do the boxes.
Flex,
You're drawing.
flexio, flexio.
Yeah, this is mine. What's
I gotta
this
have
one gonna be right
myself.
there?
You don't have to do that.
Change it.
Change it.
It's on the next page.
Write your numbers in.
Times.
What goes here?
I got ahead of myself.
What
My fault.
goes here?
Sorry.
And
Wow, this is what this-
Okay. Now what do you put over here? Put an X right there.
Now you know what you
what do I gotta do over here?
Explain it again.
Yeah.
So there.
There you go. So 8 times 5. Awesome.
Times what?
No, one.
Yes, 4. What did I have to do?
You have to like. Yeah. Switch it.
Reciprocal, flip it. Okay, so now, can I multiply right across? All right. 1 times 1 is the easy part. I'm going to take care of that. Somebody needs to take care of the 23 times 4 on this brilliant Monday morning.
Now I know what you do.
Okay, this is 6. So what number do we put over here?
All right, can anybody else double check that? Make sure we got it right.
Yeah.
What number goes here? Awesome. What do we put right here? Awesome. That is 6.
Okay, where's my double check?
Yeah.
Okay, Chloe, this is 8. What number goes
92?
over here?
Yeah.
All right, so it is 92.
What number's gonna go over here?
What do I notice about the two songs then?
Awesome.
Oh.
They're the same what? Beat per minute.
1, 2,
So, if I'm Bella,
Yeah.
no, not Bella, I don't remember. If I'm the DJ trying to mix these songs up, will they work? Yes, it will.
Good job.
But will it work with Dragon Force? Will it work with that 200 beats per minute? No. Okay? Like I said, good luck trying to find a song to match up with that.
It's gonna go right there.
Okay? But these two songs would work together. I could splice them together.
Yes, very good.
Because I had it was up there, complex fraction of 23 over 1/4.
Awesome.
Do what the math problem says. It's not complex. It's just written in a different way. This is 23 divided by 1/4. That's all that is. And that's how we solve a complex fraction. By writing it differently,
1,
What's gonna go here?
multiplying, reciprocal, solve. Okay, let's look at a couple others. So let's look at page 102 in your solve book.
94 here.
Oh, so I don't have to do this one? No, wait. I don't have to
So
put
we-
4 up there.
Good. What number down here? What number do you put here and what number there?
Okay, so you have
2.
your
Put
2,
down here.
right?
All right, so now our notes give us an organizer.
No,
Good. And what do you put right over here in the corner?
you have 2.
And those 3 steps in that organizer should be
4, 5, 6. You have to draw them all.
near identical to what we did on the first page. Remember, these aren't complex. If they are complex, they're complexly written, not complex to solve.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
So this is another example
Oh,
If you look up
I
here,
was doing the hard
of what's called a
one.
complex fraction. Our job is to turn it into a unit rate.
Here would be
So
5,
I have
4. You have to draw
2
all the way through.
over 3/4.
You know, like they have here.
So it is.
Awesome.
2 over 3/4.
Well,
Awesome.
you need 5.
Hardest part today is going to be for you to slow down and look at each problem.
How many is that?
Because if
4.
I didn't slow down, I was going to see 2/3 over 4.
So you need to do
Got to slow down, look at each problem.
2,
Okay, if I
1, 2,
look right,
5.
the numbers that are on the top, the first fraction bar is always
So
longer.
you do
Good job.
So because this one is longer or larger,
like 4.
that's the divide by. My top, my bottom.
I don't like doing mine.
First step, write it as a division problem. Get rid of what looks complex. So I have 2 over 3/4. Write the problem using this. What's the problem going to look like?
This corner.
Go ahead and write it down.
Awesome.
I want to see what you come up with. So the problem is 2 over 3/4.
Number 10. It's almost time to go. We got to finish this sheet. We won't have time for that hard one. Darn it.
Nope, I don't want you to solve it, I just want you to write.
What will you put right
That's
there?
a division problem.
What will we put right there? Awesome. What do you put over here? What do you put up here? Oh, there you go.
You can, okay, that's something we'll talk about here. But then divide by. Alright. So I saw this, and Jacob, or excuse me, Caleb,
Put here.
had the good question of, can I go 3 over, or 2 over 1? Can I go 2 over 1?
What do you put there?
Why? I agree, why?
You're just checking to make sure I'm paying attention, aren't you?
That's me.
Very good. Is it here? How many put right up here?
Did I change anything?
Awesome.
This is still 2, correct?
Get up
And I'm gonna have to do that
5 times 8.
when I multiply, right? So there's no reason why I can't do it now. I didn't change anything. 2 over 1 is still a whole number. Not a problem to do it there. Step 2. Tessa, what does step 2 say?
Oh, what are you gonna put here and what are you gonna put there?
What if I write the reciprocal? Or
Good. And what does it go to this corner?
All
right.
Okay, I still see this on your math pros. So highlight or circle the word reciprocal and write flip over it. Okay? Whenever you see the word reciprocal, you need to be thinking flip.
So what are we gonna do?
Flip, flip, flip.
We only have 3 more left. We can do these before we're done. We're gonna do this, that.
Alright, so know what? Now go ahead and perform this step. Okay? What you should be thinking about when you write this box is, what am I flipping and how do I change the multiplication? Okay, so go ahead and write in the second box for step 2. I'll come around and take a look and give you some pointers.
more left, we can do this. What do you put here and what do you put here? Let's go right here.
We gotta draw lines. Then the answer.
That we don't flip. We're just gonna flip the second.
Good.
So the first fraction's always gonna stay the same.
What
Other
do you
than
put
that,
here?
add a multiplication sign and you're good.
What?
Alright, so that
How
reciprocal
many lines do you need
of
across
3/4, that's that second fraction.
Well, that's up and down.
Change multiplication to division,
Oh, five.
or excuse me,
Yeah.
division to multiplication, and then reciprocal or flip that second fraction and only that second fraction.
Who's gonna go here?
Okay.
Who's gonna go there?
So now I have 2
Yeah.
over 1 times 4 over 3. How should I multiply?
Awesome.
Straight across, all day,
This one-
every day. 2 times 4,
There you go.
8.
How many?
1 times 3.
I get five.
2,
Okay.
4, 5, yep, you got this one done.
Simplify.
Two.
Okay, so you need 2 boxes, so what are you gonna do?
Don't let cousins marry. Can the
Awesome.
calculator help me at this point? Yes, it can.
Boom.
How?
Last one, so what goes here and what goes here?
Don't you hit eight ABC3?
Good.
Type the fraction. So 8 ABC3, then what?
And then
Awesome.
enter.
Mm-hmm. So by going in your calculator, 8 ABC3 equal,
Two.
Great.
alright, 2 2/3. Now, calculator did some fancy math for us, but you need to know, do you have the right answer?
No.
Look up here at 8/3. What do you notice about 8 and 3?
Nurse.
No.
I don't know who it is, it might be Shannon.
Wow.
It might be Nurse Shannon.
They can be simple.
Okay, they could be simplified. What kind of fraction is 8/3?
Okay, ready?
Shannon.
Might be Shannon.
Improper, which means what? Top is bigger than bottom, so in comparison of less than 1, equal to 1, or more than 1, where does 8/3 fall? More than 1. So is my simplified answer of 2 2/3 more than 1, Caleb? Is 2 2/3 more than 1? Yeah, it is. So even though I let the calculator do the simplifying for me, and I get an expected answer.
Okay, how many boxes do you have?
Okay?
Two.
So this is my answer.
Oh.
Okay? I simplified the complex fraction. I took the complex out of the complex fraction. The first thing I have to do is write it as a division problem. Get rid of what looks weird. This looks weird. Write it like this. Oh, I know how to do this. Multiply and flip. Then simplify. It's something we did back in October. We're just calling it something else. Okay? So let's look at problems 1 and 2 for finding the unit rate. So we solve complex fractions. And we look at solving the unit rate. Driving 150 miles in 2.5 hours. What would that look like as a rate? What am I trying to
Number
compare?
of lines you need to do, it's number of boxes you need. So what do you
Miles
do?
and hours.
You
Okay,
do
so that's my rate, right? My rate of comparison. Miles.
5
in hours.
This way,
So what would that look like
2 is this way.
using the numbers?
There you go.
Oh.
Two,
over
two,
like that. Can I solve this?
2, 4, 5, 6.
so that's
Yeah.
eight.
What would I do?
We don't need to do.
Not yet. Okay, calculator's only as good as the person pushing in the buttons.
So you have 6 boxes going across and you need 5.
What are you gonna tell the calculator to do?
There you go.
Let's do that.
Oh,
Simplify step 3. So there's still step 1 and 2 that has to happen ahead of that.
Oh, you know what? You're done because they answered already.
oh,
These are the same ones.
oh,
Just the answer.
150 times two.
Forgot step 1. Get rid of what's so complex looking about this. Write it like something you know.
Oh, 150 divided by
Yeah.
2.
Okay, and then like Caleb said, we can go ahead and do that right now. Alright, now in the last problem that we did, we wound up with 2 over 1 divided by 3/4. How is this problem different than this problem?
This one actually, like, has a whole number.
I'm not doing anything.
Where?
Like 2.
Okay, so this is a mixed number, okay? That's what this is called, mixed number, okay? It has that hole out in front. Gotta deal with it first, okay? How do I change any mixed number into an improper fraction? Alright, so 2 times plus the top. So really, this is 150 over 1 divided by 2 times 2 is plus 1, but all over 2. So, how do I then solve 150 over 1 divided by 5 over 2?
You have to switch it to times.
Okay? Multiply, and then what?
150 over 1 times 2 over 5.
What's that called when I make this change?
Reciprocal.
Reciprocal. Boys, now what? Multiply across all day, every day. 150 times 2 is going to be 300. Over 5. Miss Tessa, what's my last step?
Simplify.
Simplify. 300 ABC 5 equals 60. But now we have to remember, what is it that I just found? Does 60 represent the number of miles, or does 60 represent the number of hours?
Hours.
Hours? How does hours make sense?
Because it was 2 and 1.
So I started with 150 miles in 2.5 hours, and I grew all the way to 60 hours. Lord help you if you're stuck in a car for 60 hours. Why does miles make more sense? What were we doing?
Divided.
What do you know about numbers when they're divided? They get smaller. So this is 60 miles for how many hours? Is there anything on the bottom? Always a 1. What does 1 represent? Hours, Tessa. Is this a unit grade? Because it's over 1. So 60 miles in 1 hour is the unit rate for driving 150 miles in 2.5 hours. Give you a second to get this written down. Don't have it already. Okay. We're going to follow the same steps. Okay, stay with that pattern. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So on the top you've got 1, 2, 3. We're going to do the exact same thing. Look over here. Flying 1,700 miles in 3 2/5 hours. As a complex fraction, that looks like this. It looks complex. It's not complex. What should I do first? Jacob. Okay, write it as division. Then what, Tessa?
1,700 times 3 into 5 over 2.
Okay. Can I go ahead and just add that over 1? Okay. What can I do here? Help with the math.
It's the same size for that other side.
3 times 5 plus 2.
Change that into an improper fraction. Okay. So 3 times 5 is 15, plus 2 is 17. Fifths. Now what can I do there, Caleb?
Reciprocal.
Reciprocal. I'm going to flip that. Now I can multiply straight across. Somebody's going to have to help me out on a Monday morning. Well, 35. 5,500?
No.
No.
8,500.
I tried. 1 times 17? Now what? Simplify. Don't marry your cousin. Things that make you go.
500.
500. Turn that into a unit rate for me.
Over 1.
Over 1, what does 500 represent? Is that my miles or is that my hours?
Mile.
1 represents what?
Hour.
Hours. Okay? These are the steps that you're going through. You will always turn this into a fraction. This is the complex fraction. You'll always have to rewrite it as a more traditional division problem. You will always then need to find the reciprocal. Will you always need to change, mixed to improper? No. You will always then multiply straight across. If it's asking for a unit rate, your answer has to be over 1. Okay? If it's just saying solve the complex fraction, it doesn't have to be a unit rate. Okay? Please open up the hardcover book. To page 196. Your assignment on page 196, 1 through 24 all. Okay, remember, show your work, not just the answers on the page. You won't have time to finish this today, so you will finish this first thing tomorrow.